Okay, folks, looking at the laws of indices, so powers of zero, okay, negative and fractional powers, and solving equations involving powers, okay. So 18a, write down the value of 2 to the power of 0. Well, anything or any number to the power of 0, guys, is 1, okay, excluding, okay, 0 to the power of 0, because that's not equal to 1, okay. So that's what I call, yeah, indeterminate, okay. So yeah, so any number or term to the power of 0 is equal to 1 as long as that term or value does not equal 0 itself, okay. So anything apart from 0 to the power of 0 is always equal to 1. Part B, 2 to the power of y equals a quarter. Write down the value of y. So let's ignore the quarter here. Let's think of it as 2 to the power of y equals 4. Now, 2 to the power of what gives you 4? Well, 2 to the power of 1 is just 2, okay? 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. So we know that 2 squared, okay, gives you 4. But we want 1 over 4. So how do I make it 1 over 4 or a quarter? Well, a quarter is the reciprocal of 4, and to reciprocate a number, I have to make it a negative. So 2 to the minus 2 is 1 over 4 or a quarter, because 2 to the minus 2, guys, we should know, okay, so this is our negative indices topic. This just means 1 over 2 squared, or 2 to the power of positive 2, because that negative power makes it 1 over, or in other words, it does a reciprocal, and 2 squared is 4. So this is going to be 1 over 4 or a quarter, okay, or 1 quarter. So y equals minus 2 or negative 2 here, okay, because 2 to the minus 2 is 1 over 2 squared, which is 1 over 4. Okay, finally, work out the value of 9 to the power of minus 3 halves, or minus 3 over 2. Okay, so I've got a negative and fractional power. Okay, so let's deal with the negative first. The negative makes it 1 over, or in case of a fraction, it flips it. So the reciprocal of 9 is 1 over 9, so I have 1/9, okay, to the power of 3 over 2. So the power stays with a 9. Okay, now what does a fractional indice or index mean? Well, I do 1 over, so I do the square root of 9, and then I cube my answer. So I root by the bottom, and then I power by the top. So root by the bottom and power by the top. So 1 over the square root of 9, guys, is 3. So I have 1 over 3 cubed, which is 1 over 27. Okay, so my answer is 1/27th, or 1 over 27, okay? So whenever I have a fractional power, you do the root of the denominator, and then you raise it to the power of the numerator, okay? So I like to refer to it as the phrase, you root by the bottom and power by the top, okay? So power of 3 halves in maths, okay, means the square root of that number, and then you cube it, okay, or the square root or the second root, okay, and then I raise it to the power of 3, or I'm cubing it, okay, essentially, okay, and obviously that negative power makes it 1 over, okay, so we have 1 over 3 cubed, and 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27, okay. So yeah, okay, so that's looking at powers of 0, negative, and fractional powers, okay. So part A and B is higher and foundation, okay, and part C is explicitly higher tier only, okay. So fractional indices is higher tier only, okay, and of course fractional negative indices is also higher tier only, okay. So just to recap, okay, powers of 0 is equal to 1, negative powers makes it 1 over, okay, or in case of a fraction it flips it, so it does what we call here the reciprocal, and fractional powers, I do the root of the denominator and then I raise it to the power of the numerator, okay, so root the denominator and then raise it to the power of the numerator, okay. Thank you for watching.